We got the mic on? We sure do. What's going on, investors? Dest here from Investments. Oh, I got the dual setup going here. Okay, we're good to go. Little technical difficulties. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Let's get our setup going, and this will only take a second here. Get a little tunes pumping. So we got a couple things we got to talk about today, and some people aren't going to like it, so we'll see what the deal is. I know when you start talking negative of price, people do not like that, but it's the reality of the situation. Sometimes it's what you got to deal with. Get your ups and your downs. So first thing I want to talk about is ETC before we get into Bitcoin. So this is a nice wedge here, and I'm ignoring this massive spike to the downside on a lot of these coins because I just don't think it really reflects what the hell is going on in the coins at all. So you're gonna see if I'm drawing things on the chart, I'm pretty much ignoring this for the most part. There are some of them that I will include, but I'll explain it. But ETC, you got this massive wedge that formed over the past couple days, week maybe. And just now, I'm looking at the 30-minute chart. We just did a breakout and a back test of that wedge, and we're pushing higher. So this is a great indicator. You can see my arrow here points to something that I tried to trade. Didn't work out too well. But you can see we are fully reset on the RSI, fully reset on the MACD. It is ready to show some upside here. So ETC is just looking poised to stage higher here. Really liking it. Really liking this coin right now. I actually put a little trade on a little bit ago based off that formation. So let's get into what we got to talk about. We got to talk about Bitcoin. Let me know if the music is too loud as well. It shouldn't be. So we finally hit 50K. Didn't last very long at all. I think it lasted a couple minutes and definitely didn't close above the 50K mark, which is okay. You're pushing that level, which is great. Good to see. My dog farted and it smells. That's great. Yeah, so you're pushing that level. And it's going to take a couple times before you break through there, I think. You know, it's a psychological level. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have sell walls put up at 50K because it's just a clean, even break for people. So they're just like, I'll sell at 50K. It's a good psychological level. It makes sense. So we are in the hunt for 50K. Titled the video 50K or bust because you got this ascending wedge here. This ascending wedge is typically a bearish signal. You usually see it on a downtrend, and it usually either shows that it's going to continue downward or reverse. And it's not a great indicator. But the thing is we're in such a massive bull market. I've heard a couple people say, yeah, typically you get these descending wedges. And I mean, this is pretty reflective of what happened in EC or ETC right now. Look, you got your back test. Damn, that looks nice. So typically when you're staging higher, you got these descending wedges, right? But there is a chance that there is just no way that you're gonna get below these levels. You know, if there's no supply, there's no way you're gonna push down. So we're waiting on this formation to see what happens. Very tight over the past couple days, since the 8th actually. Very low volatility, lower volume. It doesn't really look great, but it's also just kind of like a holding pattern. We're just kind of waiting to see. So we could potentially see a break up to 50K and above, or we could see a breakdown. Possibilities for both are there. And let's get out of the 30-minute, we'll go to the 4-hour, And I'll show you a couple other things we were noticing here. So we had an extended hidden bullish divergence on the RSI, where you got lower lows on this RSI appearing, but you also got higher lows on the actual price chart. So it looks great from that standpoint. Volume looks not great, very low volume. And if you zoom in even further, you had a bearish divergence here. Where was it? Here. On that on that MACD. So it could go either way at this point, and we're just kind of waiting and seeing, because the important thing is that we monitor this, because BTC will change the direction of the market. If we start to tank here, it'll probably pull all the alts down. If we start to rally here, some of the alts might sell off because people want to get into Bitcoin. So it could go either way here. I think the only thing we can really expect is some of these altcoins are going to stay rallying. And there's a couple that have been showing significant strength, and we'll look into a couple of them today, but we'll take a look at some of these right now. Actually, let's move along here and look at BTS, because we've been keeping our eye on this one just because of the upside potential, as we're only at about 5.5 cents, 5.8 cents, and upside potential is up to $1. So very great upside potential. All right. So I got a link for the Discord in the chat right now. And let's see. Previous resistance becoming support. See one test here, kind of broke through, but that was on that really scammy wick from Bitcoin. So not really indicative of what's going on. Have nice support here if this holds. Again, you got this descending wedge here. I don't really see a bottom formation to that, but just something to notice that you got a trend on the downside here. Looking pretty flat as well. So same low, higher low. This is a regular divergence here on your MACD. So that looks pretty solid. Bounce here would be great. So we are watching this one because, let's go to the daily and we'll show you why we're watching this one. Look at this upside potential. Up to $1 potentially. So this one's very early in its phase, and these are the ones we want to spot. All right, let's keep moving. Any you want me to look at, let me know in the chat. Definitely want to see ETC still. Yes, still looking great. Great chart pattern here. Real nice to see. And we're just gonna keep our eye on Bitcoin throughout the day here. I wanted to look at XLM. So what we were saying here is we might see another falling wedge here. So you had this huge run up here where you had this wedge here, amazing breakout, and a nice fallback down, amazing breakout, and it just staged higher. We could use some consolidation here. So I literally just copy and pasted this formation to show what we could see. It's not going to follow along with that, but just use it for example. Just so what we could potentially see happen. And what was I seeing here? You got higher lows here, and what was it over here? I'm not exactly sure what I saw before. You got higher lows and higher lows on the RSI and MACD. So I'm not sure what I was seeing or what I drew there before, but I still think XLM is going to continue higher. I think we're just kind of in a consolidation pattern, and we're all waiting to see what's going to happen with Bitcoin. It's the story of the day is what is going to happen with here. So I did put out a video, kind of a cautionary video, just saying this pattern can go either way here. So we got to kind of watch it. In this bullish market though, I do think we're going to continue higher. All right, so what else we got? ICX. And again, I got something going on where I'm getting very, very minimal exposure again on YouTube, and I don't know what the deal is. So we'll just make it a nice short stream. Just take a look at the ones we want to take a look at, since we're not going to get many call outs, and that's all right. It's okay. So let's see if we got any chart patterns here. We got a nice little trend line here, and nothing too much here. It's kind of expanding. So Icon, we were looking at it also because you got some great upside potential. One of the best ones, along with BTS. So a potential of $11, and we're already at about $2 or $1. $1.50. $1.50. So let's zoom on in. And previous resistance is now holding as support, it looks like. Let's expand this a little bit. So this is a congestion zone here. You got a lot of action happening in this area on the upside and on the downside, on the resistance and on the support tests. So we could potentially see some more action happening in here. You got big wicks to the downside, which means it's selling off, but buyers are buying that up immediately, which is a great indicator that this potentially could go higher. What's the volume look like? Volume tapering off just like a lot of the other ones, but that's kind of to be expected with what's going on with Bitcoin right now. So we'll see what happens here. We got higher lows and higher lows, so nothing really standing out to me on there except for this massive one. Let's see if I can move this. Yes. You got a lower low on your RSI, and you got a way higher low on your actual price. There's a classic hidden bullish divergence here. Again, it is. Nah, it's not. Okay. So it's there. And Icon had a nice 20% pump the other day. Immediately gained back what it lost from that Bitcoin spike down, and then some, and took off. And you can see now it's retesting that level and ready to stage higher. So great little coin on ICX. Lots of headroom, looking great. ARKUSD. And if you pop in, even if you leave the comments after the video airs regularly, you can always look at it the next day. We do this pretty much every day, so. Trend line to the downside. I want to see this real quick. Let's zoom in on the 1 hour. Make this a little more precise. Because ARK might be retesting this as a back test. Let's get in even closer. And maybe not yet. Okay, so maybe it's more like this. That looks... It looks legit. It's looking like ETC. Let's go even tighter. So I know we don't like to do this on this time scale, but sometimes you gotta do it. So maybe not yet. I'd like to see a little more defined backtest of this negative trend for a push higher. We'll see what happens. And ETC looking great. Looking great. So that's probably all I'm going to do for the day. Nice quick live stream. I understand the momentum is kind of dying right now, as we're all kind of waiting to see what happens with Bitcoin. There's a couple other big streamers streaming still, so probably contributes to the low views, but we'll try to get some things going. Don't forget to join up on the Discord. Link is in the description. If you're new to crypto, make sure you use that referral link for Coinbase. I should have a couple other ones on there too. I'll probably have Binance on there in a day or two. But till next time, later.